Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Dickerson, and you're watching another episode of Malt Liquor with Daniel. However, tonight's episode should probably be called Four Loko with Daniel. This is a mango Four Loko. I had a strawberry lemonade, which I like. I like those. They're pretty good. But this mango is the fucking bomb. Now, Four Lokos taste like somebody said, hey, this Kool-Aid is delicious. What if we made it terrible for you? And then they added alcohol and energy drink and like fucking caffeine and guarana and like St. John's wort or something. I don't know, because it cures my depression. So, if you want to call tonight's episode Four Loko with Daniel, you're welcome to do that. If you don't want to call it that, you can call it whatever you want. Call it Monkey Nuts. I don't give a shit. Just watch. I want to talk to you tonight about a few nerdy things and some personal stuff. First nerdy thing I want to talk about with you is Suicide Squad. I'm really pumped for this movie. I hear Batman's going to be in it. And let me tell you, I'm a big fan of Batfleck. A lot of people were like, oh, fuck Ben Affleck is Batman. No, that motherfucker got ripped for this, and he knows what he's doing. He's wanted to play Batman ever since he started acting. So he's bringing it as Batman. And it's really hard for me to say that anybody could ever be anywhere near as good as Heath Ledger's Joker. Heath Ledger defined the Joker for me. That scene where he buried the pencil inside the dude's eye socket and said, ta-da, fucking won it for me. From what I've been reading, Jared Leto's doing a pretty creepy Joker. Now, it's not the same Joker as Heath Ledger's Joker. Heath Ledger's Joker was the Joker, the original Joker. Jared Leto is supposed to be playing Jason Todd, who becomes the Joker after the Joker tortures the shit out of him. You think Jason Todd is dead for a while, but he comes back as the Red Hood, he comes back as the Joker maybe, who knows what's going on with Jason Todd. But he doesn't have the same rictus that the Joker has. You know, the sliced face thing, or the Jack Nicholson acid face, or whatever you want to call it. Jason Todd is just a little bit different, and he's got that tattooed on his neck, the Joker rictus. And I think it's going to look great. There's some really cool actors in Suicide Squad. Pardon me. I think Will Smith is going to be really good. I think Margot Robbie is going to kick ass as Harley Quinn. I've always been strangely attracted to Harley Quinn. Like, the makeup is a little much for me, but, I mean, if she wanted to take her top off, I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't be like, hey, Harley Quinn, put your top back on. I'd be like, hey, I'm going to leave in a second, but first let me get a look at those, the boobies. Because one of the things that I find to be the greatest joy in life is looking at boobies. And I'm a feminist, and I'm not supposed to say these sorts of things. I'm supposed to be like, oh no, you should never sexualize boobies. But, I mean, really, come on. They're pretty hot. I like boobies. And not that I think that they should always be sexualized. If I see a mother nursing a child, I'm not going to be like, hey, mind if I pull out my dick and start jerking it right now? I'm not that much of a creep. Would I take a second look? Maybe. I might. I might do it. I might give a double take. I can't help it. That's just the way that I'm built. I am as God made me. And that's all I can ever be. And praise the Lord. So, I wanted to also talk to you tonight about the fact that I am unmedicated recently. This is a scary thing. I've got bipolar 2, I've got PTSD, I've got borderline personality disorder, and I'm OCD. Now, you combine all these things together, and by the way, my bipolar comes with hallucinations and intrusive thoughts and the whole shebang of craziness. And when I'm unmedicated, it's really fucked up. I see shit that doesn't exist. I hear things that I shouldn't hear. I have visions of doing horrible shit all the time that I can't stop. And I'm unmedicated right now because they have me on an antipsychotic that costs like over $1,000 a month. And I can't afford that. and my insurance has lapsed, and I've got to get my insurance reinstated, and I'm on Medicare, but Medicare's not going to pay for my prescription, and there's like a lot of red tape that I've got to go through. And I've been going through this for weeks. I was actually several weeks ago in the mental hospital for the same reason, and they medicated me for about 2 weeks, and then I was fine, and so they let me go. And they were like, here are some prescriptions for the shit that you need to be on. And I was like, okay, great, I'll just shove those up my ass, because they mean fuck all to me, because I can't pay the thousands of dollars to get my meds. So I've been dealing with a lot of craziness lately, and it is sometimes fun, but not usually. I think that I'm more creative. I've been writing a lot more. I've been channeling that craziness into the written page, and I'm tapping on the screen of my laptop right now. That's what is making the camera do that bullshit. But I've been writing more. I've been working on several sci-fi projects that I'm going to start writing on, stuff like that. It's all pretty interesting. But I should be medicated soon. Hopefully that won't stem my creativity. But for right now, the only medicine I have is the old Four Loko. I mean, and occasionally weed, but I can't really afford weed either, or else I'd be fine. I mean, because cannabis works for that sort of shit. So, I also want to talk about the Marvel Netflix universe. I'm sure most of you have seen Marvel's Daredevil, which I loved both seasons. I think were great. I think Vincent D'Onofrio stole the show in season 1 and put in some great work in season 2. I loved Marvel's Jessica Jones, and holy shit am I excited about Luke Cage. Oh, motherfucker. The trailer that they showed at Comic-Con for the new Luke Cage series looked fucking badass. Like Luke Cage strolling through this housing project, killing gangsters and shit. And there's one point where he punches through a wall, and punched through the wall so fucking hard that he punched a motherfucker on the other side of the wall. Just bam, straight up punch that dude. And then he starts walking towards some dudes with guns, and they are all like rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat on his ass. And he just keeps coming. I've shot a gun before, and they're pretty powerful instruments of death, I think. And if I shot somebody with a gun, holding it gangsta style, and I saw it rip up their clothes, but they didn't do nothing, like they just kept coming at me, I would drop that gun and fucking run. I'd be like, you know what, I'm sorry, sir. I'll run now. Please don't kill me. And I'm really excited to see this show. I'm really also excited for more Jessica Jones. I liked Jessica Jones. But the character having PTSD kind of triggered me. Oh yeah, I also have PTSD. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. There were several episodes where what she went through triggered me into like having an episode myself. Like I was all fucked up and shit. But I got over it and I watched the rest of the series and I really liked it. I haven't watched a lot of the DC stuff on television. Like I haven't watched The Flash, I haven't watched Gotham. I watched season 1 of Arrow, but then I kind of got lost and I haven't watched any more of it. I liked Arrow. I thought the guy playing Arrow was A, super fucking hot, B, super badass. He was doing those arm, like, pull-up deals where he was like going up a hook and then pulling himself up and then going up another hook and pulling himself up. Shit, I could never do anything like that. I can't even do a pull-up, and I'm strong. No, I can't. Fuck it, I can't do it. I certainly couldn't do the things that he was doing. And they filmed him doing all that. Like, it was on his face and on his arms. He was actually doing it. That wasn't no stunt double. And he's a badass motherfucker. I'm looking forward to DC's Justice League. Of course, at Comic-Con, they showed the trailer for it. And it looks really good. It looks really good. Batman gets his ass whipped by Aquaman. And he's just like, so Arthur Curry, you talk to fish, huh? I mean, dude, they're putting a little bit of humor into the DC universe, which they didn't have enough of in Batman vs. Superman. Batman vs. Superman was all dark and despondent and sad. And I happened to really enjoy the movie, but it was mostly for the final fight and mostly for like the little subtle shit that they showed, like Alfred telling Batman you should stop killing people, stuff like that, and the way Superman figured out that Bruce Wayne was Batman by hearing Bruce Wayne's earpiece through his super hearing. I thought that was all pretty cool, and the last fight scene was great, and some of the lines in the fight scene were great. Batfleck had some awesome lines in it. Taste that? That's fear. You're not brave. Men are brave. And then he whips Superman's ass some more. That's awesome. That's great. And I'm going to leave you on this note. I think that if you're into comic books, now is a golden age of cinema for us. And we should be really excited about the stuff that's coming out soon. Don't forget to be excited about Wonder Woman. And eventually they're going to make a straight-up Aquaman movie, and I'm pretty excited about that. So, be excited and keep watching. And definitely tune into YouTube to keep seeing me and more episodes of Malt Liquor with Daniel. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, and you have a great night. Thanks a lot. Well, or day if you're watching this during the day. It's YouTube, so I don't know when the fuck you're going to watch. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. But eventually. Please watch eventually.